Angle in the first. Watch out.
Look at this. Upton pops it up. Left side, Elvis Andrus' back penalty. He is under it. He puts it away. The Texas Rangers have won a postseason series.
The Texas Rangers are American League champions.
And welcome to another edition of Right on Rangers Live. Wish I could be getting on the air here in better circumstances. Unfortunately, you've got a decision here to pitch Jose Corniel in a 2-run ball game. Not going so well. Not going so well, baby. I like all of the bullpen moves up to this point. I thought, obviously, Ben Peoples. I thought, Peyton Gray. I thought that Robbie Ahlstrom even made sense. Probably would have gone Cole Winn here. I don't think I would have gone Corniel in this spot. Don't know what Winn's status is. But I thought it was a pretty, hook, line, sinker. Go with him. Go with Winn here. But let's see what the usage was. I'm clearly just going off the cuff. He did pitch yesterday. But before then, he hadn't pitched since the 12th. So I don't really see him going back-to-back days as that big of a deal. I don't know how many pitches he threw yesterday, but I really thought it was kind of a slam dunk. Go ahead and throw Cole Winn in that spot. He threw 19 pitches yesterday. So, yeah, that's a little high, but I don't think it's a big deal for him to go back-to-back days after getting the whole All-Star break off. I didn't like the move, but I do want to say, this is a very valid point. I posted something right before I got on the live. TLC, what's good, man? By the way, always good to see you. Thanks for the comment. How much more perfect of a situation, could you have asked for in the bottom of the 8th inning? You had Brandon Nimmo as the go-ahead run, striking out, right? You had the opportunity to really do some damage there. Tie the game on a gapper. Clearly we can't put this all on Brandon Nimmo. Don't get it twisted. But the Rangers have had their opportunities. It is really hard for me to sit here and pretend like this is bad fortune. They have had their opportunities and they just have not been able to cash it today. Jacob deGrom, he has been an up and down the past couple of starts. It has been a bit up and down. He had that Angels start at the end of June. Had a few other good starts mixed in between. They might need to go ahead and get Higgy warmed up here, baby. I don't know what that was defensively also. That's a weird play there. I'm going to take a look again. That looks like Evan Carter taking a pretty bad route to the ball. Maybe thinking Wyatt's going to get there. That was a pretty bad route by Carter. Wyatt's taking the best route he can. I'm not really sure what Evan's doing there. The defense is just, man, it's so shoddy this year. It's so inconsistent this year. I say this every show, I feel like such a broken record, but it's really wild this team won the Gold Glove last year. I get they don't have Semien. I get that Corey Seager, top 3 in Gold Glove finishers for shortstop last year, and he's not playing. And a lot of people I know believe Corey took a step back this year defensively too. It is just crazy to me. Today in the, what was it? I forget what inning it was. Believe it was earlier on in the first or second inning, where you had the ball that Josh Young's not able to get to, right? I don't even want to get into the psychological like effort of it, but it's like dude just isn't able to get to baseballs that he should be able to get to. That infield single should have been easily picked off by the third baseman, by Josh. Instead, Zeke gets a glove on it. Antonacci, I think, was the one who hit it. And then you have Wyatt Langford missing the cutoff, throws the ball over Zeke's head for the play at the plate. I mean, that was all in one inning. Just really, really sad that the little things are not getting done well by this Texas team. It's really a team that can't afford to do the little things poorly. It's a team, if anything, that has very little margin for error when it comes to the little things. And so for me, it's something that I do think if you're looking at the, just grand wide view lens picture of the season, it's hard for me not to think that, the defense is going to find a way to cost the Rangers at some point. I know some of y'all are probably laughing like I'm trying to build it up like this is a playoff team making a deep run, no doubt. I think the Rangers still have an opportunity to make it to October. I really do. I don't think that it looks great tonight if you just are looking at this one evening, this one game. But I do think it's hard for me not to envision this defense somehow harming the Rangers' chances. There's too many mistakes, man. And it doesn't even matter. Like when they get Seager back, it's definitely just like it's like a Met to me. I don't really think it's going to make a huge difference. Evan Grant tweeting right now. I saw this pop up on my notifications. I want to read it to you guys. This is what happens when you're forced to scrimp and save money in the bullpen. You have no reliable options. I would probably push back a little bit on Evan there. I mean, we did spend $4 million on Chris Martin. I mean, look, scrimp and save, sure. It's obvious the Rangers didn't have as much money to work with this offseason. I don't think anybody's denying that. But we did give $4 million to Chris Martin. I do think that is worth mentioning. I know a lot of people are going to throw it back on Ray Davis. And look, I definitely have my issues with the Rangers not going more all in the wake of the 2023 championship. I've said it many times. The Rangers could have totally gone the opposite direction of what Mark Cuban did after the 2011 championship by the Mavs. He could have easily reinvested in that team. Instead, you had kind of the opposite happen. And then Dirk's final years were kind of wasted. I know they still made the playoffs a few times, but we all understand what I'm talking about. Shoot, the Rangers, they're not even making the playoffs yet since the 23 championship. I definitely agree that there wasn't a lot of money to work with when it came to the pen, but you could have got creative, right? You could have made trades to get better bullpen pieces. We saw CY do that with Mackenzie Gore to avoid signing a big-name free agent in the starting pitching market. There are definitely alternatives. You didn't have to sign Chris Martin for $4 million. Like you didn't have to do that. I just really pains me when people just automatically write all of this off on Ray Davis, man. There were options. Evan Carter is having himself a day out there, man. Evan's looking like Osuna, man. Where's all the Evan Carter truthers, man? This defense. You guys know I'm just giving a hard time. Come on now. But Evan Carter is having a rough night getting these ground balls, man. What is he doing? I mean, Osuna's not making a difference in this game. I really believe that. I mean, you guys know I love Alejandro, big Osuna fan. Sad that he's had to ride the bench for what feels like, about a week straight? But Evan Carter is just having a rough night out there, man. Hey, what's good? Evan Jackson, I love it, baby. JN, what's good, my guy? Yeah, Corniel, just not ready, man. Just not ready. I know he's going to be an innings eater at this point, and when Montgomery and Bradford come back, Corniel is not going to be in the major leagues. But, man, this is painful. Dude just has not been able to really find it. It doesn't feel like he's had a whole lot of great outings in the major leagues thus far. It doesn't really feel like it. CY will definitely buy at the deadline. G-Man, what's good, my guy? We were without Seager comment. Oh, yeah. Cue the, I can almost get the exact quote here. I think this inning is going to this half inning's mercifully coming to an end here. Nemo's under it. And it is 9-3, y'all. It was 5-3 coming into the 9th inning. Look, Cole Winn should have been the guy in the 9th. Maybe Cole still extends the lead, but could we not have used Cole Winn in the 9th inning? Please? Oh, my gosh. G-Man, I'm totally with you on this, though, brother. You hit this nail on the head. Like, you are going to hear, it's tough to evaluate. It's really tough to evaluate when, you don't have Corey Seager and Wyatt Langford on the field at the same time. We haven't had a lot of stretches where we've had our full arsenal. We haven't had stretches where all of our guys have been healthy, and we really feel like if we can get everybody back on the field, add a couple of pieces, we're right there. Yeah, cue that for sure. That is coming from CY. CY's buying. I know we like to do this like back and forth. Hey, they're winning. Buy. Who we getting in the trade market, baby? And then they lose. Sell. Fire sale. What are we thinking? This isn't a playoff team. I know we go back and forth all the time. Give me some credit here. You don't hear me glooming and dooming every single game, do you? But that is what happens. I don't necessarily know if my mind is made up. Like if I was CY, what I would be doing. I would be shopping expiring contracts, no doubt. I would be shopping guys like Joc Pederson. I know that might ruffle some feathers, but anybody with an expiring contract, I'm shopping. Can I potentially get somebody overpaying for Joc Pederson? I know that a lot of y'all definitely are appreciating, myself included, what Joc is doing right now, but man, it could be nice to get a little value out of what's been a bad Joc Pederson contract. Take away, what's been happening this year. Last year, on a 2-year contract, having the year he had last year, the guy would have had to have been prime Barry Bonds this year for that contract to ever be worth it. I think if you can get an overpay for Joc at this point, you definitely think about it. Now, if they hold Joc and just try and make the playoffs, would I be pissed off? No. I don't think it's like that dire of a situation. You have to trade Joc Pederson. I don't think that. I do think it would be bad business to not see if you could get a overpay from another club, preferably in the NL, that maybe is looking for a DH. I don't know the lay of the land there, but you get what I mean. I don't think they're going to be trading Walcott, Johnny. I don't think that's going to be any kind of realistic option here. I know that I've talked about, hey, maybe you are willing to trade Walcott. I don't see that happening. Now, a Caden Scarborough, maybe a Winston Santos, I do think there could be some top 5 prospects getting traded. It wouldn't shock me at all. Osuna in the game right now. He is going to pop up, though, for out number 1. Glad they could get Osuna some AB. Skip is putting in the bench right now. Cam Cauley in the game at this point as well. Brendan, is that a joke, buddy? I appreciate the laugh. The question was, do I think we can tie it? No, I don't. By the way, I misspoke. 10-3, not 9-3. My goodness. Osuna is definitely an interesting case. And this is how you know I can be unbiased. Like, I love that dude. I think he's an awesome player. I wish he could get an extended runway. He kind of did, and he showed you that he can get on base. Yeah, the defense leaves something to be desired. We all understand that. The reality is Alejandro Osuna hasn't even played a full season in the major leagues. Give the guy a break, man. He has less than a full season of games in the major leagues. The defense is going to improve. He's not going to be terrible. He's not going to be below average forever. I think he's going to come back to the norm. I don't know if he's ever going to have an elite glove, but I really don't think with experience, with more games under his belt, I can't see Osuna being as bad as he's been in the outfield. And look, go by the advanced stats, the metrics. It hasn't been good out in the outfield for Osuna. Now, you talk about guys like Josh Young. It's a trade-off, right? Would you rather, have the bad defense but the good offense with Josh Young? Yes, you would. Would I rather have a guy that can get on base consistently for maybe slightly worse glove? Yeah, I'll definitely go that direction. So for me, Osuna could be a guy that you trade as well. I don't see a great path for Alejandro. Cam Cauley's going to double here. Let the comeback begin, baby. Get the rally started. Let's go. Cam Cauley, man, guy I would like to see get more reps as well. I'd like to see what Cam can do. He's gotten some ABs here and there, but he's another guy that's not really getting a super long runway right now. It's very spotty playing time. I do think Osuna could be a trade candidate. I think Cam Cauley could potentially be a trade candidate as well. I mean, these are the major league depth guys that I've been talking to you guys about. A lot of y'all will push back and say, no, I shouldn't say a lot of y'all. Some of y'all will push back and say, what are we going to trade, man? We have nobody in the farm. I don't think that's true. We do have some pieces that are interesting in the farm for sure. But I've said a number of times, I think the Rangers are going to have to trade major league depth if they want to go get a splashy player, right? You want to go get a Casey Schmidt from the Giants. You want to go and get a top of the line starter, for example. You're probably going to have to trade some major league depth. And maybe that's Osuna. Maybe that's Duran. Maybe that's Smitty. Maybe that's Cam Cauley. I do think that those are potentials for trades. I don't think anyone is completely off the table. When you think about a guy like Osuna, who's he going to play for at any point unless he's going to learn first base and be a platoon option at first base with maybe Jake Berger, who definitely had a nice game today with the home run, but Berger's been pretty cold over the last 15 games or so. Evan Carter going to get caught here, 2 outs. A little ground ball up the middle. Nice play by the White Sox infielder. And Evan Carter's retired by half a step. Tarps off, baby. Hey, we're losing 10-3, but the tarps are off. You know what? I find myself, like I told you guys, man, if we're winning, if it's close, in a losing effort, it just doesn't hit for me. I'm not going to lie to you guys. It does not hit for me. Call me old school, whatever. I don't even care. It just doesn't hit for me when we're losing a 10-3 ball game, baby. I appreciate it. They're trying to make the best out of a bad situation, but it doesn't hit for me. Look, there's a number of guys that we could trade, and I see Kenny. What's good, man? Always good to see you. Kenny says, try and unload Young, Berger, Joc, and Junis. I mean, again, any expiring contract player, I'm taking calls on. Junis is an expiring contract player. You should take calls on Junis. You should take calls on Higgy. You should take calls on Joc. You should take calls on any player that has an expiring contract. See if you can get an overpay. See if you can get some value out of it. That's just good business, man. That is good business. You see why I wouldn't be doing his job. Fenstermaker would not be doing his job if you're not seeing what are teams going to pay you for some of these expiring contract players. I mean, look, I love Jacob Junis. I don't think Jacob Junis is the difference between a World Series and going home and sitting on the couch. I think you need guys like Jacob Junis, but I think you could just as easily make it to the playoffs without Jacob Junis. Jacob Latz, I feel a little bit differently about. I don't think you're going anywhere if you don't have a lockdown guy in the 9th inning. And in Jacob Latz's case, in the 8th and 9th inning, right? With how many multi-inning saves that dude has gotten over the course of the last 2 or 3 months. Elias Diaz up the bat right now. Rangers' final hope here. 2-2. And he is going to get rung up. That's appropriate. He is going to get rung up for strike 3. Elias Diaz takes one that was painted inner half right at the knees. Appropriate way for this game to end. Oh, geez. Hey, JN, Ahlstrom, I'll give Ahlstrom some credit. He pitched well tonight. I know he's been up and down, but the other guys, I don't have much of a defense for them. It's really sad. It just doesn't seem like there's a lot of immediate answers in AAA. The guys that are immediate answers are already up. Peyton Gray, I think, look, the fact Peyton Gray as a rookie, 3.53 ERA, you got to take that from a rookie, man. This is his first season in the bigs. JN, I know you didn't include Gray, and so I'm not coming at you that way, my guy, but Peyton Gray's been pretty dang good. 3.53 ERA from a rook. I'm going to take that. And that's a rook pitching in some leverage, right? Ahlstrom, 6.06 ERA. That's leaving something to be desired. But, Robbie, to me, is probably going to be another one of the guys that they think about potentially sending down. You're getting Montgomery and Bradford back. And I love Robbie. I'm a big Robbie Ahlstrom fan. But I don't see him staying up in the big leagues either once Cody Bradford and Montgomery are back in the game. I think when you add those two lefties, you kind of think what Robbie does. He's kind of in that, long relief / mop up duty deficit, right? He's pitching in those types of situations. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but that's kind of what I see. That's kind of what I see right now. Bando, what's good? Yeah, the crowd always kind of gets me. Look, there are some games where it's live, there's energy, but there are games, and granted, you know what? It's a Monday night. It's a Monday night. I don't want to get on the crowd too much. It's definitely a weeknight game. Maybe we should reserve judgment for weekends, but yeah, it definitely is noticeable at times. Just, there's not as much energy as you'd like, man. There's just not. Amanda, haven't you talked to me? What's good? It's good to see you. Haven't you talked to me about or commented, maybe it was somebody else, but I know a lot of people have hit me up and said, some people are like at the game, like watching TV on their phones. Like, I mean, look, I know everybody's experience is different. And obviously I grew up in a generation, in an age where you didn't get TV on a phone. Shoot, you didn't really even have a phone that had internet, man. By the time like everyone had a phone with internet access, I was like about to get out of college, man. So like going to a game, I was like, I don't know what you guys were like, but I was the nerdy dude that like bought the scorebook and like kept score and was like super obsessive about it. Man, that was me. I love keeping score at a game. I haven't done it in a while. And now that I have kids, of course, it's pretty impossible to do it. But man, I would definitely never be watching TV at a Rangers game. It would have to be a pretty big moment. Mavs are like in the playoffs. I'm trying to think what else, it would have to be a pretty monumental game for me to be sitting at a Rangers game on my phone, man. Oh gosh. Okay. Fair enough. What is this, Ethan? Is it injury related? It's got to be injury related, huh? We keep on rolling. No reason for this team to buy, Jeremy says. Yeah, I think that there's an argument that the Rangers should not be buying. Maybe an argument that they shouldn't be selling. Maybe it's an argument where they should kind of just be standing pat. I have seen a lot of traction on social media among fans. Just, hey, don't buy, don't sell. Just kind of stand pat and see if you can ride this out. I know there's a lot of negativity around deGrom right now. Yeah, let's remember, deGrom is gone in a year and a half. I mean, anybody that's overstating the contract, I get it. The contract is big, but we're done with deGrom in a year and a half if we want. You can bring deGrom back in 2028 for a pretty reasonable price if you wanted to. I don't know if the Rangers are going to go that route based on how it's going right now. But I don't think we need to pretend like, the deGrom contract is this albatross. I don't really see it that way. I would feel that if it was like a 3 or 4 years left on the deal, deGrom is gone after the 27 season, which, I mean, is in doubt with the strike impending. I'm not too worried about the deGrom contract. I'm really not. Look, is there a big market for deGrom? Probably there is. I think a lot of teams, if you put deGrom on the market, would be curious. I think there's some that maybe are a bit scared off by the age and by the performance this year. But I definitely think that you might be able to get some good value from him yet. I don't see CY doing that. I see CY totally reloading for 2027 with Evo and with deGrom. It would really shock me if he, even with a bad 2 weeks here, did a big fire sale. I just don't see it happening. Man, I think you're going to see him probably on the phones a lot more. You're going to hear a lot more rumors flying around over the next 2 weeks, right? Trade deadline is what, 13 days away? Is that right? 13 days away, trade deadline? 14 days away. Trade deadline is August 3rd, 2 weeks from today. You would really have to see a massive tank for CY not to buy. Massive tank. I'm talking like you lose 10 of 14 or something wild like that. I don't see that happening. The Rangers have notoriously this year floated around 500 very consistently. I see them winning some and losing some over the next 2 weeks. This isn't rocket science here. Justin, what's good, man? Thanks for all the likes, brother. Always appreciate you doing that. Thank you. Good to see you, man. Wish it could be under better circumstances. Rangers getting their butts kicked by the Fighting Will Venables tonight, 10-3 if you're just coming in. So we're doing our little group therapy session at this point. Little group therapy. Oh, geez. Look, think about a rise. I'm thinking about him tonight. Just, hey, you score 3 runs, only 7 hits. It would be nice to have an Arise in the lineup. Man, I wonder if San Francisco would be willing to take a Josh Smith and maybe a pitching prospect for Arise. I've seen some different things thrown out there. I wonder if they'd be interested in like Smitty plus maybe one of our pitching prospects, maybe somebody that threw tonight, maybe a Corniel. I mean, I don't know. I think that could be a potential. There is a need to fill this lineup with 1 or 2 more hitters. And look, this is a big question, right? Where would you bat Arise? I'm definitely batting him up at the top. I think Joc Pederson, you definitely can make an argument to keep him in there. I mean, Arise is going to be up at the top of that order. I really wouldn't mind moving Langford back to the 3-hole, maybe having Arise hit second. I'd like Langford to have more people in front of him. Joc Pederson obviously is hitting the bombs, and that's great. And he had a great series in Atlanta. So don't take this as me being negative on Joc, but I definitely would like to see Arise hitting in front of Langford. Langford needs more people in front of him on the base paths. Joc, I think, is doing a decent job of getting on, but I'd like to see Wyatt with some more traffic out in front. And so I do think what I would do is probably move him up to second, and I would have Wyatt Langford hitting third. I would probably prefer to see Brandon Nimmo hitting in the cleanup at this point. Maybe JJ hitting in the 5-hole. JJ's obviously having a great year overall at the dish. He had a hit tonight. We talked about the defense. It's not been a great year at third base for Josh, but look, over his last 7 games, hitting 240. The OPS is a little bit down. You'd just love to see Josh slug a little bit more. Only 9 homers and 352 ABs. It's tough, man. I don't know what or where the power has gone for him. Clearly, he's dealt with some injuries, but I mean, we're talking about a guy that, in 2023 hit 23 bombs. I mean, I really thought 20 plus homers was going to be the basement for Josh Young. It's a little tough, man. I'm not sure quite what to do with JJ, but I'm probably not hitting him clean up at this point. I think 5-hole would probably be what I would do. Nimmo is definitely playing better this month. He did not have a good game today. Struck out 3 times, went 0 for 4. Big strikeout with the game on the line in the bottom of the 8th inning, unfortunately. But Nimmo had a great series in Atlanta as well, and he's really been hot ever since the Angels series. So I'm probably doing that. I know that was kind of a little bit long-winded, Lord Tubbington, but I appreciate you, man. If they lose the series to the White Sox and Mariners, they lose the tiebreaker to every single team in the West and most of the wild card teams around them. Yeah, and that can definitely play. I mean, at the end of the year, there's ties all the time. I don't want to over dramatize, if that's even a word. I don't want to be overly dramatic when it comes to the tiebreakers because, sometimes it doesn't work out that matters. But there are many times where it does. It is a tight race in the AL West. And clearly in 2023, the tiebreaker mattered. I mean, in a good way for Texas. It ended up winning a World Series, even though they didn't win the division that year. Still, I definitely am not going to get over the top about losing tiebreakers. Now, losing back-to-back series, yeah, that's not going to be good. The Rangers need to get some wins in this homestand. They need to get some wins in this homestand. Yeah, they're in a little bit of a tough stretch here. You're playing the Braves out of the break, one of the best NL teams. You're playing the White Sox, one of the best AL teams. And then you're playing the Mariners, who are a big rival in the division right now. And, very well. Are they in first place now with the loss? They won today. I mean, look, neck and neck with Texas, right? So it's 1-0 Mariners in the bottom of the 7th inning. 1-0 in the bottom of the 7th inning. So Mariners could overtake the Rangers for first place. We keep rolling. Appreciate you guys. See what I missed. We need Seager back. Duran and Lopez have hit a wall. Yeah, Seager is definitely progressing from everything that I've read. I'm not going to pretend that I'm super confident he's going to come back and light it up, but I do think getting him back in the lineup is a positive. It is a good thing. I know there's going to be some Rangers fans that, that don't want to hear that. No, man, roll with Nicky Knox, roll with Nicky Lopez. Look, I like Nicky Lopez a lot. You guys know this, but yeah, we got to get Seager back in the lineup. Ezequiel Duran is having a tough stretch here, man. He is in a tough stretch. I know he had a hit today, but man, some of the strikeouts have just looked ugly. They have just looked ugly today. And also over the weekend as well. 227 over his last 7 games, 259 over his last 15. Not bad. Look, falling back to earth maybe a little bit, but I wouldn't list Zeke Duran as one of the top offenders. Look over his last 30. The OPS is sitting at 687. That's probably a little below league average, right? So at this point, I got to agree. It's going to be nice to get Seager back. I hope that obviously the reset for him, even though it was forced due to injury, I hope it helps. I hope he can come back and be a solid presence in the lineup for Texas. I'm not going to be getting my hopes up like crazy. That's going to happen right away, but I hope it does happen. Really hope it does. Nicky Lopez's defense is horrible. I've noticed a couple of things here and there recently for sure. By and large, I can't say that I have, that convinced of an opinion about Nicky Lopez's defense. But there have been a couple of things over the last few games where I've said to myself, yeah, not the greatest, but I don't think Nicky Lopez's defense is even close to this team's worst issue or worst problem, man. We keep going. Jose Corniel got to get sent back down. He will. He's not going to be around for very long. I don't think it's going to be tomorrow. It might be. But, when Jordan Montgomery and Cody Bradford get back, guys like Corniel, guys like Ahlstrom, maybe, I think are probably going to get sent back down. That's what I see happening. Appreciate all y'all hanging out. We keep going. We're just doing our usual post game. We'll do a preview for tomorrow's game in about 15 minutes or so. So we're just rolling through as many comments as we can. I apologize if I missed anything. Definitely feel free to repost. There's a lot to sift through, doing my best. But I definitely want to get to everything of substance. So feel free to fire on your comment one more time if I missed it the first time. CY thinks Seager will be back on Friday. Interesting. That to me would definitely be helpful with the Mariners coming to town. That would be nice. You hope that can happen. Let's see. Morjan, Arise, and Waka are my dream deadline acquisitions. All those seem very reasonable to me. I'm just trying to conceptualize if I think that those players would actually put us over the hump or not. It would definitely make us better. I would like to think that, that would definitely keep us in the race for most of the year. If I'm being totally greedy, I'd probably like to see one more hitter. I'd love to see one more hitter, not just a rise, but I'd love if they added a rise and one more bat. I know it's way too greedy, but I really do feel like this team is a couple bats away. Man, I feel like they're a couple bats away. But going back to what a couple of y'all have said, it is tough. Where do you put some guys, right? Where do you put certain guys? If you add 2 more bats, who's coming out of the lineup? It's probably going to be Ezequiel Duran for one. And then, we'll see how Evan Carter comes along. I know there's some fans that are really locked into the concept of Evan Carter, never getting benched. I do think Evan Carter is a guy that's teetering right now. I could see the Rangers adding an outfielder in the case that Evan Carter does not consistently hit this year. I don't know if that's something that they're going to be good with for the entire season. And I'm not just saying that because, we've had the Osuna-Carter debate. I really do think it's in the front office's mind. Is Evan Carter really a long-term answer, man? I don't think that the runway, I don't think that the rope is unlimited. And so when we talk about who could they add and where are they going to replace guys, I do think Zeke and Evan Carter are probably the 2 biggest names that I could think of. Yeah, Lane Thomas, to me, I just think he's a nice player. I just don't see him upgrading the offense that much. I just don't see. I don't see it. It's not that I don't like Lane Thomas. I've obviously watched him play the game, and I appreciate what he does, but it's just I don't know if that's a splashy enough move. I just don't know if that's a splashy enough move, man. I don't think they're going to be able to trade away Nimmo. He's got, 5 years left on the deal. I don't think Nimmo is a guy that they're going to be trying to trade. Was in town for the game. It was a tough watch. Zach, sorry, man. Thanks for coming to hang out. It was a tough watch. I felt like at 5-2, it was a 3-run deficit, and I know this team has come back, but I just had a bad feeling at 5-2. Like, man, it feels like this game's over. And I don't always feel that way, but tonight I did. I was like, man, this game feels over. It was 5-2. Crowd was a little dead. We kind of talked about the crowd a little bit. Crowd felt a little dead watching it on TV. That's not always the best way to judge. What's the best way is if you're actually there. But the crowd felt a little dead. Rangers bats weren't really doing much. You had deGrom kind of with the off start. It just did not feel like a good game today. It really didn't. How do I stay positive, man? I go through every emotion, and I actually appreciate that you would ask that question because I get accused a lot of being one of the more negative Rangers accounts. I think if you come hang out at the live shows, you know better. It's obviously a little different when I'm sending off tweets, firing off tweets, reacting as things happen live. But man, I go through everything. I get pissed off. I get depressed. I laugh. At some point, you got to laugh at some of this. It's definitely a 162 game season for a reason. But man, it is hard for me not to take some games personal. Skip talking right now. Let's get to it.
And then just the other teams have capitalized on some mistake pitches. So the crooked numbers have cost us the last couple games, and we just haven't been able to catch up.
Well, Skip, it would have helped if you wouldn't have put in Corniel in the 9th inning, buddy. I mean, come on now.
You win a game. That's how you get back on track. So tomorrow's going to be with Rocker going. It's going to be important for him.
Kumar throwing tomorrow. How are we feeling about Kumar throwing tomorrow, y'all?
I thought our offense actually took some really good at-bats. We had opportunities all night.
You were at the game, and they were more hyped than normal. Can't be too hyped, and we can't keep up. That's fair enough, my guy. Thanks for the comment. Appreciate that. I mean, there's nothing to disagree with there.
Right now, I'm curious with Corniel in the 9th. I mean, what did you see as he was kind of getting hit around there?
Yeah, I mean, we had, just kind of the way we pitched.
Kennedy asked about Corniel. This is good.
If we tied the game, Latz was going to go in. We kind of chased it a little bit with Ahlstrom, obviously. I mean, he went three days in a row. Alexander was down today. So, we felt like, if we got it within one run, we had obviously traffic in the 8th inning. If we scored another run, thought about chasing it with Wynn, even though we were down. And then obviously if we tied it, we were going to go Latz. But being down 2, we're hoping, Corniel hasn't thrown. When the only guy that hasn't thrown, fresh arm, that we could, try to squeeze an inning there and keep it within, 2, or, if he gave up a run, that's okay.
I don't like this answer.
Unfortunately, kind of got out of hand.
And why did it get out of hand? Because you pitched Corniel. Come on, baby. Corniel's mop-up duty, period. Corniel is not, it's a 2-run game. Corniel is mop-up duty right now.
Some good young players. Obviously, Vargas had a big night tonight.
Let me know if he says anything else interesting. I'm going to turn him down. I don't understand. He said if they would have scored in the 8th inning and brought it within 1 run, he would have pitched Cole Winn in the 9th. I don't really understand why you wouldn't have pitched Cole Winn with a 2-run deficit. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Hey, we would have pitched Cole Winn in the 9th with a 1-run deficit, but we won't pitch him in the 8th we won't pitch him with a 2-run deficit. I don't know. Lord Tubbington, you're gonna have to explain. We're gonna need Win for tomorrow. Yeah, I don't know about that, buddy. Don't know if I agree on that. I mean, Win tomorrow. You have a number of different options. Junis didn't pitch today. Latz could probably go multi for you. Peyton Gray, I think he threw yesterday. Yeah. So he would be 3 days in a row. You could do 3 days in a row with him if you had to. He did get 4 outs today. So that probably wouldn't be the most ideal, but I don't know, baby. I'm not a huge fan. You have Tyler Alexander tomorrow as well. So you have Alexander, you have Junis, and you have Latz available. I don't know if I'm really trying to save Cole Winn knowing that I have those 3 dudes available. I mean, that's just me. I mean, agree to disagree. I know that the main point is the offense didn't score enough, and I think we do need to keep it focused on that. We absolutely need to keep it focused on that. But I think we're kind of mincing. That's really nitpicking it when you're like, I'd throw him in a 1-run deficit, but I'm not going to throw him in a 2-run deficit. Now, had he said, I want to use him for tomorrow, and that's why I didn't throw him, I maybe could have got on board a little bit more with that. But when you're saying I'd throw him in a 1-run deficit, but I'm not going to throw him in a 2-run deficit, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Look, I think a 2-run deficit obviously is more than a 1-run deficit. But all it takes is a bloop and a blast for a tie game. I mean, look, it's kind of splitting hairs in my mind. I think you could have had an opportunity to win a game. You obviously didn't, but you had no chance to win the game tonight when you're throwing a guy who's pretty far down low on the bottom of the totem pole. I do agree with you on this. We will probably not get a whole lot out of Kumar tomorrow. You hope that he can go 6, and then I think you very easily go Alexander, Junis, Latz. I think you avoid Cole Winn altogether. But you might need Cole Winn for the 6th inning if Kumar cannot get through 6. But man, I hope that they can find a way. Did Peoples throw yesterday? Because I would probably feel pretty comfortable throwing Peoples tomorrow. Peoples did throw yesterday, so Peoples is on 3 as well. I mean, yeah, I get it. But again, if your idea is saving Cole Winn for tomorrow, I don't think you throw him in a 1-run game or a 2-run game. That just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Keep going. Bottom of the order. Let's see. Bottom of the order probably wouldn't have scored the runs to win the game if Winn came in. Yeah, you're probably right. It's just the logic from Skip to me. Like, hey, 1-run game, I'm bringing him in. 2-run game, no way. I just don't know if that follows, if that tracks completely for me. I get coming back 1 run is easier than coming back from 2, but that just doesn't track a whole lot for me. We keep rolling. 19 ERA for Cornell. My goodness. My goodness. Kumar giving me bad vibes. Yeah, I know Kumar historically is better at home, but it feels like this year it hasn't been like very consistent. I'd have to look at Kumar's stats at home. I looked at the splits and I was actually surprised that it's pretty like middle of the road both ways. It's not like he dominates home away one more than the other. But this year, Kumar Rocker at home, he's actually worse at home than he is on the road. 4.91 ERA for Kumar. Kumar Rocker has a 1-7 record at home. Sorry. I know the preview is about 5 minutes away, but Kumar Rocker 1-7 at home, 4.91 ERA. Not great. Not what I wanted to read. Not what I wanted to read at all. Feels like Skip asked ChatGPT how to manage the bullpen. Look, at times I would agree, but I actually felt like tonight he managed it really well. I just didn't like the 9th inning. I just didn't like the 9th inning. I feel like he managed it really well. I liked Gray. I liked him going to Peoples. I liked the Robbie Ahlstrom move. You got to give Robbie a shot. You don't necessarily love Robbie in a high leverage spot. He hasn't been super consistent this year, but I just didn't like the Cornell move. Cornell to me has been a little non-competitive at times, and I know that you're hoping, man, this is gonna be it. This is when he's gonna get back on track. Yeah, I just that one was a little mind-blowing to me, but we move on. It is what it is. It is what it is. Skip had no faith in his offense in the 9th inning and said, forget it. I mean, look, he didn't really have, we didn't really have a great look at that 9th because of the blowout in the top half, right? Like it might have been interesting to see what would have gone down in the 9th inning, but it was a blowout. So, I mean, Berger got benched. Duran got benched. You would have had Berger, Duran, Carter. I mean, look, that's not a bad trio to have up down 2. I could think of worse trios to have coming up to the plate. Berger, Duran, Carter. I mean, look, I know Berger and Duran have cooled a little bit, but you're not feeling hopeless there. You're definitely not feeling hopeless there. Mackenzie Gore 2026 isn't a number 3. No, he's not right now. Buzzer app is currently 1-3. That's hilarious. You need to keep up with this like all year long. We need the buzzer record, the running record here. Tonight ended a 10-game winning streak against the White Sox in Arlington. Nate, my guy, dropping the stats. I love it. Love it. Miguel Vargas, man, he is good. Dude's pretty good at baseball. We'll say that. We need Robbie Ray. I think Robbie would help. I mean, he's at least a consistent arm. You know that he's not going to have a meltdown every other start. I mean, Robbie is not the ace level that he has been over the past, decade-ish, right? Maybe the last couple of years ticking down a little bit. But, man, Robbie at least I don't think is going to soil the bed for you every other outing. You can feel pretty confident, hey, he's going to give me 5 or 6, 3 earned runs, 2 earned runs. That to me is definitely something that I appreciate about Robbie Ray. I think some people are turning their nose up a little bit. I mean, guys like Robbie Ray just are going to be steady for you. And I've said, if CY does go get a starting pitcher, if you go get Skubal, I'm not going to complain. But they really just need to get somebody that's going to give you a competitive chance in a game 3. Like right now, you throw Gore out there, you throw Leiter out there, you throw Rocker out there. Nobody really feels great. I know we've got some Jack Leiter fans. I'm one of them. I like Kumar Rocker. I like Mackenzie Gore. I just don't trust any of them in a game 3 in October. Am I proud of some of the steps that some of them have taken? Like, I know Leiter was dealing with some injury. Rocker has definitely been better than he was last year. I just don't trust any of those guys in a game 3, man. And no, Montgomery, Bradford, I don't trust either one of them in a game 3. They haven't pitched in like 2 years. So I would love to see, just go get a solid starter. It doesn't have to be an ace. You don't have to gut the farm to go get Scooble. Again, you won't hear me complain, and we'll worry about the farm later. We got one of, if not the best pitcher in baseball on our team. I'll be cheering, and I hope the ballpark is packed for his first start in Ranger red, white, and blue. I think the Tigers are going to hold on to him, though, so maybe we ought to stop talking about Scooble. But what did this say? Jim Bowden gave out a trade package, a rise to the Rangers, Castillo and Pence to the Giants. Yeah, my choice would be like Josh Smith, and then maybe a guy like maybe Corniel. Pence feels like a little, Castillo and Pence feel like a little too much. I don't know. And look, I'm not prospects guy in the sense of like, I'm not a prospect pro clutcher. I just feel like you could probably not have to give away as much for a half season rental. You're getting Luis Arraez for 2 months, maybe 2.5 if you're making the playoffs and making a deep run. That feels like kind of a lot. Yeah, 36 runs. Isn't it more than that? Isn't it more than that? How many did we give up on Sunday? We gave up 10 runs tonight. It was 21 going into Sunday. And it was, yeah, it's been a lot. That's all that matters. It's been a lot. It's a lot of runs given up. And a lot of it is bullpen related. You definitely had Corniel kind of blowing it for what was really a pretty spotless night for the pen. I mean, Gray, Peoples, Ahlstrom were all dominant. Then you got to Corniel, and it all went downhill from there. Ethan, I tend to agree with you, although the place where you might be wrong is if the Rangers really get a lot out of Langford and Walcott. I think if Walcott comes up, really pops, Langford really takes that next step, 25-25 guy, 30-30 guy, you might see the Rangers more competitive more quickly than you think. If Langford kind of stays right where he is right now, which is good, but not necessarily like elite level, and then you've got some of the other guys kind of trending downward a little bit, I think the only saving grace is going to be if some of the young guys really light it up. Carter starts lighting it up like the top prospect that he was. Langford becomes that 30-30 guy. Walcott comes in and maybe he gives you 25-25. That to me is the pathway for the Rangers being competitive even after this 2 to 3 year window is over with. It's going to be difficult to foresee how all these guys' careers are going to play out, but it's definitely dependent on that. If those guys do not pop, it could be some dark years ahead. After deGrom, after Evo, Seager on the very last few holes of his career, it could be interesting. That is for sure. I did see that Walcott bulked up, although did y'all see that pic of Dak that they put out there? Somebody put it out there on social media, and it was like Dak freaking jacked. And, of course, it was AI generated. But I'm like, I hate that you always have to think about, is that AI? Like, he does look like he bulked up a little bit, man. Good for him. Good for him. Look, you would love to see Walcott. He's a freak athlete, man. I mean, he graded out incredibly high when it came to athleticism, first starting out as an 18-year-old coming into the Rangers system. And so if he can add on some muscle to go along with that freak athleticism, hello. How was deGrom so bad tonight? Missing location. On the double that gave up the game, basically, that made it 5-0, you had Elias Diaz set up on the outside corner. deGrom leaks a slider over to the heart of the plate. I mean, deGrom, at least in that moment, missed location. And with Evo and deGrom, we've talked about this. Eovaldi, deGrom, both flamethrowers coming into the league. Eovaldi was one of the hardest throwers in baseball when he came into the league as a rookie. It was him and Aroldis. Dead serious. Those two were throwing the hardest in the league in the mid-2010s. It was Aroldis first, Evo second. deGrom routinely 100 plus, 101. Now he's down into the mid to slightly upper 90s. Both these guys are learning how to consistently pitch well without that fastball. That's kind of the great equalizer if you don't have outstanding command. Now with Eovaldi and deGrom, you have to have elite command in order to get things past guys and in order to consistently get outs. And I think both of them are obviously adjusting and still pretty quality pitchers. I know there's a lot of washed getting thrown around. Evo's washed, deGrom's washed. I don't really feel that way when I watch them pitch. And I think the profile, like even on a guy like Evo, he's still getting swing and miss. The dude had 19 strikeouts over his last 2 games coming into that start yesterday. Like he's still getting a lot of swing and miss, man. Like the profile for both these guys is still good. I just think they get burned by missing location. The fastball is not as deadly as it once was. Evo's fastball is getting hammered. He's kind of gone more to the curveball in this year especially, and it's worked for him. But Evo's fastball is getting hammered. Location. I feel like I'm a real estate agent right now. Let's keep going. Dak would have pitched better than Corniel. I think, a lot of us, I think Higgy could have pitched better than Corniel. You might as well have thrown Higgy in there. He probably would have got the job done. I think he only gave up 3 earned runs in his last outing. You might as well have thrown Kyle Higashioka out there. Ethan, that's actually an interesting comp. That would be fun. Mariners blowing out the Reds. Sad but true. Yeah, I saw a big dumper hit a grand slam. Evo's command's been poor all year. Same with deGrom. Yup. Tecumseh, what's good? I mean, look, Father Time is catching up with Eovaldi and deGrom. Doesn't mean they suck. I'm not willing to call them both washed yet. I know a lot of that's getting thrown around right now on socials, but I'm not ready to say that word. But I am acknowledging, man, these guys, they have to learn how to pitch without that velo. They've got to learn how to do it. Lord Tubbington, absolutely. I mean, look, Peoples, I definitely posted about him when he got that final out of the inning that he did pitch. He didn't have any strikeouts today. Once he has some more stats, I would love to look at the baseball ref page. I don't think the Savant page. I don't think the Savant page is going to have much for him right now, but I definitely will look it up right now and I'll see if there's any measurables. It's going to be such a small sample size, but I am a fan of what I've seen from people so far. I mean, look, the ERA speaks for itself. Here's what Savant is saying about him, and these are not updated from today, but fastball velo is in the 78th percentile. He's a hard thrower. I think we all knew that coming into this. Average exit velocity is highly above average. Walk rate. I don't think he's walked a batter yet. That, to me, is the exact opposite of what you've got with a lot of the Rangers up-and-comers. Gavin Collier, a lot of walks. Corniel, a lot of walks. Teodo, a lot of walks. Winston Santos, a lot of walks. You have so many of our young, good arms that just walk so many people. And Teodo averages almost a walk an inning. I love Peoples as a strike thrower, man. That's what you need in a pen. I mean, by and large, Peyton Gray, same way. Hard hit rate among the tops in the league as well. Gets good extension off the mound also. Uses the four-seamer 63% of the time. Slider. So he's basically a fastball slider guy. He throws a changeup as well, but he's basically a fastball slider guy. Yeah, look, I am with you on this. Like, give me a guy like Peoples that just throws strikes. I say it all the time. I wish more Rangers pitchers would pitch to soft contact. Not pitch to contact, pitch to soft contact. What does that mean? You're mixing eye levels. You're working the corners. You're trying to jam hitters. Right? You're being very strategic. Obviously, you have to have great command. But yeah, I will take this all day long. 100%. Who did we trade to get Peoples? Who was it? Ben Hurdle. Ben Hurdle, right? Catcher? Lower minor league catcher. I remember it was the Ben for Ben deal. Let's see. Pitching to contact in 2026. Pitching to weak contact. Let's make sure we clarify there, my guy. Tecumseh, buyers. I think they will be buyers. I'm pretty sure that is going to be a thing. Unless they lose like 2 weeks straight of games, I don't see a way that they're not going to be buyers. They would have to totally crap the bed the next 2 weeks. Yeah, half out of the division, a game and a half out of the wild card. Correct me if I'm wrong. In 2024, didn't CY buy when we were out like 3 or 4 games? I want to say we were out like 4 games in 2024. Somebody check me on this. I don't think we were in a playoff spot when we traded for Big Country and we traded for Carson Kelly. I don't think we were in a playoff spot, man. We traded Lorenzen that year as well, right? I don't think that was a playoff spot buy. I'm pretty sure we were 4 games out. And so, look, that's why I say if we're even in the vicinity, I think CY is going to buy. Red Sox 14 straight is crazy. Maddox is very sorely missed. Mike Maddox. We were talking about this. I was going back and forth with someone on X in a good way. We were both on the same page, but he was basically saying, like, man, bunch of idiots. Like, why did they let Mike Maddox walk? Like, he was talking about CY. The more I think about it, I've got to think Mike Maddox wanted out of Arlington. And that's not me like trying to drum up negativity about Mike. Look, for whatever reason, I just don't think he wanted to continue on because it just doesn't make logical sense to me to move on from Mike Maddox with the historic year that the Rangers had pitching-wise in 2025. It doesn't make any sense that the Rangers would want to move on from him. I don't know what they offered him. I doubt they lowballed him. I would think that they would be doing everything they could to keep him. I kind of think Mike Maddox just wanted out of Arlington for whatever reason. Maybe, didn't really want to get on board with Skip. Nothing personal against Skip. Maybe he just didn't want to work directly with Skip. Maybe he just wanted a change of scenery, do something different. There's a number of different things, right, that you could point to, but I gotta think he just wanted a change of scenery because you would have to be a complete idiot to not be throwing a bunch of money at him to get him to stay. I mean, look, I don't know. Some people, I hear a lot of this. Some people are, definitely of the mindset of this Lord Tubbington, like who wants to move from Texas to California? But, look, I'm out here on the West Coast. Those of y'all that don't know, I live in Las Vegas, been out here for about 15 years, grew up in Arlington. I lived there for a long time too. Like, a lot of people, regardless of everything that you hear about California, a lot of people are willing to live there because of the weather and the landscape. It does have some beautiful country in some places. It really is. Some people are willing to put up with a lot for the perks and some of the different things that, I just mentioned. But I don't know. Some people, they love that beach life and all that good stuff out there. Personally, I don't know if it would be for me, but I don't mind visiting. I still think he must have just wanted a change of scenery. This is a good point. It's not, you had deGrom and Evaldi, but it was a pretty steep drop off from there. You basically got deGrom, Evo, and a bunch of question marks, man. We keep going. Let's see. Tatis and Miller in a trade? Probably not, although I'd love it. At this point, if he doesn't know better than to bring in Corniel in relief when the dude has a 1964 ERA, Skip making dumb decisions, no excuse. Yeah, I mean, look, I have already been on Dustin and a couple of times. By the way, good to see you, my guy. Appreciate you tuning in. I didn't like the Corniel move. Some people said it made sense. I don't understand bringing him in a 2-run game if you were willing to bring Cole Winn in for a 1-run game. But, we might have to agree to disagree if you're not on the same page as I am. I just feel like if you gave the ball to Cole Winn there, he might still give up a lead. But at the end of the day, the offense didn't score enough. Wasn't my favorite move either. Would I trade Joc? Yes, I would. If I was getting a good deal, I would probably trade Joc Pederson. And the reason is I would try and get something of value out of that contract. I do think there are some NL teams that could use Joc's services. And I just don't know that the Rangers are a lock to make the playoffs. I hope that they do, clearly. But I just don't know that they're a lock to make the playoffs. And so from that perspective, yeah, I think if you can get a good deal for Joc Pederson, you strongly consider it. Now, tomorrow's game. Let's kind of start getting into that a little bit. I'll still check the chat here and there. Really not a lot to preview. Schultz is pitching for the White Sox. Schultz was a big-time prospect. He is 5.60 with the ERA on the year, but this is like one of the top prospects coming up in the White Sox system. This dude is huge. Noah Schultz is huge. 6'10", 240, man. This is like freaking Randy Johnson up on the mound. He's not pitching like Randy. 53 innings, 47 strikeouts. Again, a 5.60 ERA. Did just pitch really well against the Athletics. Got lit up a little bit by Boston. Got lit up a little bit by Baltimore. 6'10". Yes, he is a lefty. So we will be seeing the lefty lineup. 6'10", 240. This dude's a monster. My goodness. So, yeah, we'll see Foscue tomorrow. Joc will probably take a day, right? You'll see a lot of lefties. I wonder, you think Cawley maybe gets a start? For a while, they were putting Osuna in there against lefties and benching Carter. It seems like they've kind of gone to Cawley. I wonder if maybe they'll let Cawley play second. Maybe they give Nicky Lopez a day and let Osuna play in the outfield. I don't know. Yeah, Braves. That could be interesting. Yeah, Joc hasn't really gotten a lot of opportunities against lefties, but yeah, he's not a guy they want to throw in there. Definitely not a guy they want to throw in there. All right, y'all. So tomorrow's game, same time. 7:05 start. We'll be back probably 8th or 9th inning again. And I'll have a video out to you guys tomorrow. I'm going to have to cook up something on this mess. We'll see what I cook up. I appreciate you guys tuning in, all the comments, questions. You guys help keep the show fresh. I don't take any of that for granted by any means. Definitely wish there were more numbers, but there's really not. 0 for 2, Teal, who won't be playing. Vargas is 0 for 2. Maydroth, 1 for 3. Benintendi, 0 for 2. That's it for Rocker. There's not a lot of numbers. Just not a lot of numbers there. Time for Cawley to take the center field job and never give it back. Yeah, I mean, I actually think the dream with Cawley is probably him and Walcott up the middle. Him and Walcott up the middle, that is an athletic tandem, man. You got both those guys chasing down ground balls. I think that would be the pretty picture, unless you go outside of the organization to get a second baseman. But yeah, Cawley's getting some opportunities. I think it's going to take a lot to usurp Evan Carter from the center field job. I think the team is going to hang on to every thread they can. And I don't say that to be negative or to be disrespectful to Evan, but I just think 100% it's going to have to be pried away. You're going to have to go on a tear to get Evan Carter out of the everyday right-handed starting pitching lineup, right? Dustin, what's good? Yeah, no, there's a lot of people that are saying to sell. right? There's a lot of people, Dustin, that are saying sell. And I don't think anybody is out of line for saying that. I just don't think that it's going to happen. And so that's why I haven't talked about it a ton. I've actually been very vocal since the beginning of the season. Either you go all in or you sell and you do a fire sale and you start the rebuild. I think that this gray area is like purgatory, man. Like, you're not good enough to win a World Series, but you're not bad enough to like totally tank it either. Like, it's a bit of purgatory with how, mid they are at this point. So I don't think saying that they need to sell is by any means a hot take. In fact, I've already said on the show tonight, they need to consider selling some of the guys who are on expiring contracts. Think Joc, think Higgy, think Junis. Like, some of those guys with expiring contracts, you need to think about selling. Absolutely. You do. I mean, look, there's a number of other people that are saying that too. I think you sell some of the guys who are on expiring contracts. You see if you can acquire some controllable talent. Luis Ariz obviously is not controllable talent. He would be a 2-month rental, but nevertheless, that could be interesting. I think that you've got a few different options here. It's going to depend on what happens these next 2 weeks. I don't know if the Red Sox are ever going to lose again. The comment was, are the Red Sox ever going to lose again? Yeah, I mean, look, what they're doing is impressive. 14 in a row. My goodness. When's the last time the Rangers have won like 7 in a row? Maybe it's not that long ago. It feels like it has been a little while, though. Oh, man. All right, y'all. I'm outie. I got a video coming your way tomorrow. Like it, comment, share it with somebody. I would appreciate it. Thanks for hanging. Therapy session on a night like tonight for sure, but we got it done. Rain or shine, we always come, show up, hang out, talk Rangers baseball. I've dropped a video tonight on the Mavs trade, the Ricochet trade, and hope you guys will enjoy that. I know not all of y'all are Mavs fans. I know we got some Spurs fans, some OKC fans. I know we got a little bit of a wide variety, but I do cover some of the other DFW sports here on the channel. So look, if you appreciate the Rangers content, humble request, don't scroll away from the other stuff. Give it a like. Let the video play out for a little bit. Whatever you could do, I would appreciate the extra help. It would mean a lot. So, hey, thank you so much. Appreciate you guys. Have a good night. And as I always say to end every show, God bless and go Rangers.